Thakur with others. Thakur, we use the term for Sri Ramakrishna. In Bengali, the term Thakur means God, personal aspect of God, something like in Kannada we say Devaru. So, Sri Ramakrishna Deva, Deva terms as if we are using, we use the term Thakur for God, Kali Thakur, Krishna Thakur, Ramakrishna Thakur. So from that the Thakur term is used for Sri Ramakrishna exclusively in our Ramakrishna tradition. So Thakur is traveling towards Calcutta with others, Bhavanath, Yam and Hazra. On the way, Sri Ramakrishna talked with his companions. Of course, talked means it cannot be anything except God as the center of their discussion and teaching. But as the carriage neared Vidyasagar's house, his mood suddenly changed. When he talks to anyone, his whole attention will be how to lift that soul, how to introduce God to him. God is, he himself is an incarnation, yet the understanding of the person with whom he is talking is at a different level, unable to understand who he is. But he has some conception of God, so vague, yet it is a concrete for that jiva. So, to bring that home, whatever his understanding of God is there, that God has to be near him, close to him. Whatever each soul, as he evolves, the crudest understanding God is somewhere in the heaven or somewhere. If I pray, he will answer. This kind of extremely prakrita, just like we treat my friend is there in US, like that, some understanding as a personality, but not to be seen, not to be, but somehow he reaches us, he answers our prayers. Such kind of understanding we possess, and to slowly as we grow, we will see him slowly, his pervasiveness. There are three entities, Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara. I am there, universe is there, God is there. Entirely different entities, not connected with each other as if I am there, universe is there, something called God, a power which controls this. But as we slowly progress in our spiritual life, as our evolution towards divinehood, from animalhood we come to humanhood, from humanhood to the divinehood. So when we are moving towards divinehood, little by little, our understanding of God expands, our mind expands, our heart expands. From I, a little being, it starts expanding. Oh, as if all these are mine, this world is mine, I am intimately related. See, suppose I have a car, how much I feel myself associated with it. I don't want it to be parting from me. Mobile. Somebody, ordinary people, they keep the mobile. Suppose someone says, you give me my mobile, I will give you after 2 days. He already starts thinking that his interest is pervading that object. He considers that object to be as if a part of his. getting separated. Mother feels the child. Santana, mother is expanding. Santata, tat is to pervade. Mother pervades through her progeny. She pervades through her children. Children, she as if they are part of her existence. So this understanding, that expansion. So when I start, that means I know I am separate, but that mindness slowly grows to the extent I start expanding. Oh, this universe, I pervade as if not only it is there, it is mine, but I pervade it. Just like a mother pervades the child, a neighborer doesn't pervade my child. It is as separate from her as much I am separate from my child. Both are separate from child. Neighbor is also separate from child. Child is not neighbor, neighbor is not child. I am also not child. I am also different from my child. Yet I pervade it. And she doesn't pervade, the neighbor doesn't pervade it. So the difference is, suppose I am going out and I keep my child in neighbor's house, stay here for 4 days. She doesn't pervade it any time. First, this world will be like that. Mindness is different from my pervading it and becoming as if I am that and it is me. So this kind of expansion of my consciousness, it becomes a part of my consciousness. So as we spiritually grow, we expand. We expand to the cosmic level. Our individuality starts dissolving. Our personality starts dissolving. My separate identity starts dissolving in the universal consciousness, in the universal existence. So the microcosm is dissolving in the macrocosm. This is what we see, bringing God home. I am the home. Now, when Sri Ramakrishna talks to his disciple, they are talking in the carriage, Sri Ramakrishna is talking, means how much of presence of God, according to him, what God is, has to be brought to him. He must be able to intimately relate himself with the God, the way in which I present God to him. Each one, he lives at a different state of awareness, different state of evolution, spiritual evolution. According to that stage, three people are there. He must be able to present in such a way the differences. To one, when he is explaining, the other is watching. When he is presenting God to this person, other is watching. And each one is absorbing God according to their capacity in the way they want. They may be having a particular type of relationship with God. They may be having a definite understanding of God. Whatever be that, Sri Ramakrishna is bringing. Then he feels whatever is going to understanding of God is, oh, he's mine. I can freely, he's totally accessible to me. This kind of understanding. This is bringing God to home. Sri Ramakrishna, when he is talking, he is trying to bring that God to him. Now, once he touches God, once his heart feels the presence of God, he starts expanding. Because God is such a thing which doesn't allow you to be limited and small. My family, my possessions, no, it breaks. The moment your heart touches God, it starts feeling, it starts expanding also. So how the Ramakrishna is making them move towards pure spirituality. Spirituality is where all differences dissolve. I, you, he, that, all professions, all type of religions, all type of understanding, all this dissolve. And he becomes one with it. Like milk and water is mixed. So many things are mixed. You will not find it separate. Like that, his expansion takes place. Now, when he is absorbed in this talk, bringing them together, God and the disciple, God and the child, we can say. Now, Vidyasagar's house is nearing. Now he has to meet Vidyasagar. The whole mood changes. The awareness, the Vidyasagar was there in the subconscious. Conscious mind was talking to them. When the subconsciousness triggered, Vidyasagar's house is nearing, he enters into a different mood. He has something else to give to him. He has something to awaken in him. And suddenly he enters into a particular state of mood. That is what we see here. But as the carriage neared Vidyasagar's house, his mood suddenly changed. Why did it change? Because from one end to the other end he has to jump now. He was Vidyasagar is the first meeting. First impression is the last impression which is going to take him. He is the Bhaktanukampa Dhritam Vigraham Vai. Out of compassion for the jiva, he has taken up that body and he has to fulfill that each soul he meets must ultimately reach the ultimate goal of human life. So he is going to his house because he is ready for the internal transformation to evolve to the absolute perfection, perhaps in this life itself. He was overpowered with divine ecstasy. Means he has two aspects, one human aspect to show how to live in the world, how to attain God, how to remain a devotee, how to remain as a Jivan Mukta in this world. All aspects of human, various feelings, all this he is displaying on one side. Purity is radiating in and through all that. What is human existence independent of the acquired good or bad qualities, beyond good and bad qualities? What is the divinehood that every human is, and how he acquires the dirt of goodness and badness upon it, and then both are washed down, goodness and badness, and the pure divine remains as it is, beyond good and bad. So this Vidyasagar has to experience. So he is entering into this, that is, in divine state he can, as if God has come down to the earth to bless him. He must feel, oh, I have seen a person in whom I was not able to take out my eyes. I got lost. I don't want to leave him and go. That kind of feeling, the deep feeling, with divine ecstasy. Not noticing this, M pointed out the garden house where Rajaram Mohan Rai had lived. The master was annoyed and said, I don't care for such things now. Sri Ramakrishna used to attend to every bit of details what people come and tell. They will tell about the scientific growth that is taking place in the world, electricity coming, this, that. They take him to zoo, they will take him to certain things to show him. and he fully participates. You saw the other day, somebody is playing piano and showing, and like a child he is standing by the side and observing. So everywhere he gives his full participation and encouragement as far as it is going to help mankind and the person's evolution. So here also, if his purpose was not there, he would have fully enjoyed showing the house of Raja Ram Mohan Roy. But now he has a higher purpose. He is descending to this earth in human form. He is to redeem the soul. He is going there for the redemption of a soul. Now these things are not interesting to him. Why? Because here the purpose for which he has come down, he is fulfilling. Master was honored and said, I don't care about such things now. Earlier he was there, later also he will be. While coming back he may ask, hey, you were showing that house, where is that? But now he has to go and meet, he has to remain in the same mood of divine glory. He was going into ecstatic state, a state where even the human aspect in its entirety dissolves. The divine God alone is there in that body now. When Radha used to become unconscious by thinking of Krishna, her companions used not to touch her body and don't allow anyone to touch her body. They used to say, it is occupied by Krishna. He is pervaded by Krishna. It is Krishna's body now. When Hanuman goes to Lanka, Ashokvan, and sees Sita, he doesn't see the Sita there. He sees Rama sitting there. He wipes his eyes and tries to see, what is this I am seeing, Rama? I left there and come. What is this I am seeing? Sita was in full absorption in Rama's awareness. So her individuality has dissolved in Rama, and Rama alone is existing there. And Rama wanted Hanuman to see what is that state where the individuality dissolves in the absolute. So he sees, then slowly he comes down to see Sita there and immediately jumps down to bow down to her. So here Sri Ramakrishna is in the divine ecstatic state, and the onlooker to whom he is going to Vidyasagar will be seeing something beyond what he expects. He was going into an ecstatic state. Ecstatic state means where that person is no more there, and only the divine is there, the pure divine, the Lord of the universe in his all glory and capacity is there. God has come to the devotee. The carriage stopped in front of Vidyasagar's house. Master alighted, supported by M, who then led the way, because now he is in an ecstatic state, almost oblivious of the environment. In his mind only Vidyasagar is there, to whom he has to transform a human into the divine. He must make God out of man now, who then led the way. In the courtyard were many flowering plants. In the courtyard were many flowering plants. As the master walked to the house, he said to him, like a child pointing to his shirt button, My shirt is unbuttoned. Will that offend Vidyasagar? Oh no, said M. Don't be anxious about it. Nothing about you will be offensive. You don't have to button your shirt. He accepted assurance simply like a child. See, when we are in a particular state, I am totally seeking his welfare. When I go to meet someone, Sri Ramakrishna goes to meet someone, he is seeing totally his welfare. Nothing should be there obstructing him and the devotee, because it is something beyond the human range. He is going to meet small differences. He is seeing that he is not offended, because these are Western learnings have influenced the Indians. How the etiquettes of Westerners, Indian etiquettes are entirely different. It is respect offering in a different way, to see the divine and offer the respects. Suppose I meet my elder, anybody, anywhere, the first thing I do is to bow down and touch the feet. But in Western context, this kind of meeting, as if he is meeting something divine, something greater, I am bringing myself to an extremely low level and raising the one whom I am meeting to the highest level of divinity when I bow down. This is what we see. Each one younger will see in the elder something good and great. Now, after the westernization, we have changed our views. What we do is, we want to present ourselves in a better way than whom we are meeting. We used to hide our goodness and greatness in front of others and make them express freely and bless us. Now it is the reverse. I want to present, I want to show who I am to the others. Everywhere this trend has. Formerly, anybody doing any services, we used to say in our childhood and all, in schools and all, we were taught, anybody says thank you, we used to say no mention, oh don't mention that please. It is my duty, I express my humility. Now they say welcome. The entire scene is changed. Thank you, Miss, welcome. How the things are changing day by day, how westernized we are becoming, means we are shifting from the pure spirituality to the materialistic life. I present myself, I think myself to be the best. Of course, positive thinking part is different. But what we call damba, darpa, and all these aspects of egotism and egoism are different, which suppresses the sattvikata and increases rajasic tendencies. The master is asking, will he be? Master walked to the house and said to, as the master walked to the house, he said to M, like a child pointing to his shirt button, my shirt is unbuttoned. He is not able to put button. He is in ecstatic state. And he is asking, my shirt is unbuttoned. Will that offend Vidyasagar? Because if he is offended, what is this person he has come to meet in this way? That should not happen. That small thin screen is there also. What the purpose for which he has come? To bless that soul, to redeem that soul, to lift that soul to the heaven. That will go away. You don't have to. M is consoling him. Nothing about you will be offensive. A person who has raised himself to manifest divinity in totality, as if God has descended to this earth in his presence, to him who will feel offensive? Like a child, small child is moving about in various ways, shabby sometimes, weeping sometimes. Nobody feels offended. So he is consoling. Nothing about you will be offensive. You don't have to button your shirt. He accepted assurance simply like a child. Totally convinced with that. Now if mind is free, all clouds has gone, and now the sun radiates its maximum shine. Vidyasagar was about 62 years old, 16 or 17 years older than the master. He lived in two-storied house built in English fashion with lawns on all sides and surrounded by high wall. After climbing the stairs to the second floor, Sri Ramakrishna and his devotees entered a room at the far end of which Vidyasagar was seated facing them, with a table in front of him. To the right of the table was a bench. Some friends of their host occupied the chairs on the other two sides. Now he is explaining when the master entered and they entered, what was the scene. This is one speciality of Master M, explaining things. He wants to take the reader to the actual thing happening there. It is like video representation. And if the reader calmly and visualizes the whole scene, he shifts himself from the present to the past. He is there, the whole Leela is happening in his presence. Now the Leela part, he wants to make the Leela part accessible to your soul. The reader must understand this. As you read with full concentration, visualization is different from imagination. What I am reading, I am trying to experience as if I am seeing it, visualization. Imagination leads to visualization. Visualization leads to the experience of the reality. Now to bring this visualization in the reader's mind, he goes on presenting how was the situation. The Ganges was flowing, the moon was raised, all this explanation what he gives now and then is to transport you to those days when the Leela was going on. This is how we see, we land in the actual happening. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, Hridi Vrindavan. The Vrindavan is eternally going on in your heart. Withdraw from the world and you are there in that Vrindavan. So he wants to make you forget this world, forget the body and land in that Leela, experience that Leela. That is why he is giving one by one aspect of what we see here. Oh. निरञ्जनं नित्यमनन्तरूपं भक्तानुकम्पा धृतविग्रहं वै ईशावतारं परमेशमीड्यं तं रामकृष्णं शिरसा नमामः।